Welcome back to the Magento admin tutorial, and it's our 8th podcast. In this video we will discuss stores Magento section. If you would like to see dashboard, sales, products, customer, marketing, content, reports, feel free to look at our previous videos. So, stores menu consists from the settings, attributes, other settings, taxes, and currency. So let's start with settings. Settings represent different menus from Magento 1, which is system configuration, system stores, terms and conditions, and system order status. System all stores. Here we can see our Magento stores and we can make new one. We can create website, we can create store or store view. The difference between all three of these settings as website, if we making website, we can make different code, different domain. If we make store, we can assign different category for it. So it means if you have few stores, you may have few root categories and you can sell completely different set of products by the different websites. And store view, it's more for attributes which have store view value, which you can edit based on store view. Usually it's used for different languages where you can translate one language to another at different store views. Currently at Magento, with Magento demo data, we have main website, main store, and main store view. Also, if you want, we can edit parameters of our configuration. Store view, we can change website, we can change different root category, and we can change website settings. We can rename it, change code, sort order, and choose default store. If you will have more questions about this section, we can make another tutorial video which will be dedicated exactly to Magento store structure. Please let us know in the comments. So the next option is configuration. It's what we used to have at Magento 1 at the system configuration. Here we have general tab, and the first section is general. We can set country options, we can set our default country, we can set allow countries, we can set for optional zip code for which country is it. European Union countries, it probably will be used for tax values, or tax rules, and we can set top destinations. We can set state options, which is for which country's state is required. We can set option to allow to choose state if it's option country to yes, no. You can set locale options. Most of the options here, they similar or same to Magento 1. And most of them will be set by default once you will set up your Magento store based on your country location and time zone. Also, we can set store information. We can set store name, store phone number, hours operations, country, region and state, zip postal code, city and street address, and what number if it exists. And single store mode. Here we can set if we use Magento single store mode or we have multiple stores. This way we will be able to switch between stores. At the web section, we can set URL options, add store code to URLs, auto-redirect to base URL. I will skip this item which we used to have in Magento 1, assuming that you already know what does it mean. If you don't know, please leave comments and I will have more detailed explanation of each of the Magento configuration admin settings. We have search engine optimization, where we can set use to your web server rewrite to yes or no. Base URLs, secure base URLs, default pages. It's all same to what we used to have at Magento 1 system configuration design tab. Default cookie section, session validation settings, and browser capability settings. So all of it's same what we used to have Magento 1, and in most of the cases it will be set up by default for your location, for your store, based on your setup procedure. Design tab. Here we can set design theme, we can add user agent exceptions, we can load different theme based on user agent string. It will help you in case you want to use for some user agents different themes, for example for mobile, Android, iPhone, and so on. HTML head, here we can upload favy icon of our stores, change default title, title prefix, suffix, and description, keywords, it's all SEO information which will help you to improve your store in Google search. We can add miscellaneous scripts, and we can set do we want to display demo store notice or not. We can set settings also for search engine robots. It was same what it was for Magento 1. We can set header settings where we can upload header image. We can specify width and height of it, alt, and welcome text, default welcome text for unregistered users. At the footer section we can set copyright, and we can put some custom HTML which we need to have at our page. Also here we can set product watermarks, but if we have ones. If we don't have, we can skip this section. We can edit pagination at this section too, so we can set settings for pagination frame. It means how many links we will display at once, pagination frame skip, anchor text for previous and anchor text for next one. And we can set images for our emails. We can set logo, we can set dimensions like width and height of this logo, and we can just choose templates for our emails, header and footer. Let's go back to configuration, currency setup. Here we can select our base currency, display currency, allowed currencies, scheduled import settings, and if we use different currencies, we can set up service for it. We can see that at Magento web service tags is only available. At Magento 1 it was few more of them, but all settings which we can see in this section is exactly same what we used to have at Magento 1. So let's go to the store email addresses. Here we can specify emails and sender names for different store emails. Contact section, it will allow us to enable disable contact section. It will give us email where we want to send us contact emails. Then we can select from previous section email address which we will send email from, and we can choose template. We already have seen email templates at the marketing email templates, and there we can make new templates for email to be visible in this dropdown. Reports, and here we can set dates when dashboard reports start. It's pretty easy. Content management. Here we can enable or disable when editor will be available, and we can set to use static URLs for media content at the editor for catalog, which is set by default or not. If you have new relic, you can set up cron for new relic. Of course it's something new in Magento. Next, it's catalog section. Here we have catalog, where we can set different options for catalog setting. We can make product fields after generation masks for SKU, for title, keyword, and meta description. So this is the web section, and as far as you can see, it's all same what we have in Magento 1. Please ask questions, comment if you want to review any of the admin configuration settings on its own, because all of them have a lot of settings. Each of them have a lot of values, and we will just briefly look at each of them. Design section can add user agent exceptions. We can add it for any design theme. All other things, it's same what we used to have at Magento 1. Currency setup. Here we can set up our currency settings, and if you want, we can import currency rates online. Store email addresses. Here we can set our store email addresses, and for each of them, and then we can use it in other options. Contacts. Here we can set up settings for our contact form, as well as send emails, set email where we send emails from, and choose email sender from the list based on previous menu item. We can set up what will be year-to-date start report. We can set content management, where we can edit how editor will be visible. We can set numeric reports, and it's something new. So basically, we can enable disable cron. We can edit catalog options, the same what we used to have in Magento 1. We can set inventory options. These options will be shown as default for our sample product. For example, we have product here, Chrome Signed Black, and we can see manage stock set used config settings. So here is our config settings. We can set when will be generated our XML sitemaps. We can look at our RSS feeds for different areas of the store. And we can disable or enable feature to send email to a friend. Customers, they have newsletter, template, and email settings where we send an email from, what is newsletter template. You can make new template for it at the content tab, or marketing tab, newsletter template. We have customer configuration, where you can edit customer options for new customers, what email we're going to send. For new customers, what email we're going to send. For customers who forgot their password, and a bunch of other settings which also we used to have in Magento 1. We can set wishlist settings, is it enabled or not. We can use promotionals, coupon code key generation. If you remember, in previous tutorial we look at the coupon code generation, and here we can set default values for it, and also we can set persistent card enable or disabled. At the sales, we can set sales options like minimum order amount, reorder, sales order. We can set sales emails. Here we can select all templates which we want to use for our store when we're going to send email to customers. We can look at pre-feed printouts. So here we can select, do we want to show or display order ID in the section. Also we can look at tax. Here is a bunch of tax options which can be adjusted, and it's one of the big sections. I know some of the extensions modified, but if you have some questions about configuring this tax based on some country or some rules, please let me know, and we will go through each options again altogether. Here we can enable, disable one-page checkout and set shopping cart settings, my cart settings, shopping cart sidebar, and failed emails, payment failed emails. We can set shipping rules, add shipping rules page, multi-shipping rules, we can disable enable, we can set serial methods for our store. We'll need to enter Google API for analytics to use it on for our store, and we can select payment methods. Such as extensions as custom our extensions, which will be available later on this year. Services. Here we can set up services which connect to our Magento store using web services or our thoughts and any other services. Here we can stop case. Advanced, it's more debugging tool. We can set admin values at the admin tab. As a system, we can set some general system settings. At the advanced, we can enable disable some extensions to show on frontend. Please make sure when you disable extension from admin over here, it doesn't mean extension disabled, it's just not showing as a frontend. And at the developer options, we can combine CSS and JavaScript if it's applicable to our store. Or we can select the bugs section. So next is terms and conditions. Here we have all terms and conditions entered for our store, with which if we will set settings, they will apply to checkout. Order statuses. We have all order statuses over here. We can make new one, we can assign status to state. So basically what's the difference? We can make new one status, and then we can assign to state, and when somebody will put comment to the order, they can change order status if it's at the same state. Or we can use it for our custom order processing workflow. Taxes. Tax rules. Over here we can set up tax rules. Let's look at the one of them. So we have name, tax rule, we can import tax rates or export tax rates. And also here we have tax zone summaries. Here we can see what zones we have set up, what postcodes they are applicable to, what state, country, and rate. Currency. Here we can see all currencies we have at our website. We can import settings for web text and date currency. It will be useful if we are using few currencies for one store and we have to convert one to another one. Currency symbols. It's default symbols which come from the Magento default installation. I believe if you need new one, we can add it over here using XML file. The next thing is product attributes. Here we have grid, which is pretty similar to what we used to have at Magento 1, and we can edit our attributes. We can specify label, what is catalog input type. It's all the same what we used to have for Magento 1, except options we have at the main page, and after the options we can specify attribute code, scope, unique, is it unique value, and other options which are applicable to Magento 1 code. We can set store view name, and also we can set store from properties. Here we can set will it be visible at search, are we going to use it as layered navigation, are we going to use the promo navigation rules. We used to have at the marketing tab where we have price rules or catalog rules when we have this attribute showing up. Also we can set are they visible on the catalog page and storefront or the using product listing. Also we have here attribute sets. Attribute sets becomes pretty similar to what we used to have at Magento 1. As you can see, we just have attribute set, attribute groups, and we can just drop attributes to our attribute set to make sure that we have this column there, and we can put value inside. Rating. Over here we can see different rating types. So it means if we ask customer to vote for price, quality, rating, or value, all the things stored here. If you want to add new one, you can add it, and customer will right away start to look at it and make their decisions according to the poll. And customer groups. Over here we can make new customer groups. We can name it, we can say tax class. By the way, tax class used to be changed at the Magento catalog before, and this version I couldn't find where to change or add new tax class. So it might mean that they took out this feature and we will have to use our tax class based on Windows installation. This was pretty big section, sorry that I didn't explain all of the configuration because it's really big and points between products and attributes are very big, but I have already discussed that as our other Magento 1 video. I don't think they have changed a lot. But whatever, I wish you got some better knowledge from this tutorial and hope you will add our comments to us, any questions, or just enjoy the video. Thank you.